What's going on? James Bondy is here. In this video, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is everything you're seeing all over the internet talking about AI automation agencies. So I think it's important to talk about this, especially for people who are subscribed to my channel and watch my content, because they're probably wondering, what does James think about this whole AI automation agency fad, right? And in this video, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what I believe the future of a social media marketing agency or a lead generation agency, which is typically the LGA, is more of what I teach in regards to local businesses and getting them more leads and customers. Social media marketing agencies are kind of geared toward more social media stuff, but in the end, it's all kind of the same, right? Local businesses want more leads and customers. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome to the first video you might be watching. And if you enjoy this content, make sure you like, subscribe, and throw me a comment down below. I'm actually asking everybody who's watching this to give me a comment of what you think I get right in this and what you think I get wrong. And if you have any questions, of course, comment down below, because as you can see, I answer almost 90% of the comments that come through this channel. So recently, a few days ago, I came back from Dallas, flew out of Dallas, Texas, but I was in McKinney, and we held a very small mastermind live event down there for our students. I think everybody paid about $1,000 to this event, and this was one of the topics that I talked about. Some of what I'm going to go through in this video about the AI was covered also in that mastermind. We had a bunch of other things that were covered as well. Maybe I'll release some of the live footage on my YouTube channel, so make sure that you definitely subscribe and turn the notifications on. In any event, I had a great opportunity to not only share my belief, and I'm so stubborn that I would actually say that my belief are the facts, which is probably not the most humble way to be. I just been through this type of business since 2014. I've seen all the trends. I've seen every single thing that people want to throw out there to make it sound shiny and sexy, when the reality is that this business of getting more leads and customers for local businesses is and always will be the person who can make this business simple will always succeed. When you start to watch too many YouTube channels, you start to follow too many gurus, you start to listen to too much advice. You know, you've heard this before. It is paralysis by analysis. And it is one of the most common problems in this industry, where too much information actually hurts. Now, with all that being said, there is nothing wrong with, following people that you enjoy watching. But as long as you take it with a grain of salt and put in the actual steps, put in the time and learn, you can blow up the SMMA LGA world. Okay. So let's talk about the AI automation agency, because I'm seeing massive views on people who are doing videos like this. And so it's time. Let's talk about it. So what actually is it, right? The AI automation, and this is an article I pulled from medium.com, I think. This is how it was explained. Establishing an AI automation agency is no easy feat. It requires a lot of planning, research, and execution to create a successful business model. The AI automation agency aims to provide businesses with the latest AI technology to enhance their operations and increase efficiency. It utilizes chatbot technology, and I'm going to get into this in just a second, to provide businesses with an automated customer support system. This technology allows businesses to save time and resources by automating repetitive tasks. The chatbot can handle customer inquiries, complaints, and support tickets, freeing up valuable time for the business to focus on other important tasks. This is the explanation of what an AI automation agency can do. My question to you is, while I go through this, is keep this in mind. Is this actually an agency, or is this just a service? It is very important to understand, because a service is different than what actually the business model is. Okay? That's like saying, I am going to create a Facebook ads agency. Well, you're just a media buyer. essentially, right? I'm going to create a PPC agency. Well, the reality is that all you're doing is helping local businesses get more leads and customers from running pay-per-click ads, right? So let's not forget what we're actually doing here, and I'm going to tie it all together now, okay? So what is AI, right? So here's the way I think of AI, because it's important for you guys to understand this. AI essentially is an information hub, okay? And you're going to find out if you've been watching me for a while or you're new to this channel, my whole goal in life is take complicated things and simplify them, right? One of the biggest or the best ads that we ever ran when it came to my coaching program was be a bridge to local businesses. We help people create a business that connects local businesses to their customers. We act as the middleman. Everybody can understand that, right? But when you hear SMMA, you hear LGA, right? You hear all these acronyms and these confusion, right? When the reality is, if you can keep it simple and you can understand exactly what you are doing for a business, then you can understand the simplicity of what we actually do. And when it's simple to you, it will be simple to explain to others, okay? So AI can be very confusing. Well, in reality, it's just an information hub. You ask it a question and it puts an output, right? The input is the information. You ask it a question, and the answer is output. Let me actually make this better. Okay, that's the output. And so we can talk about how robots are walking the earth and flying to the moon, and AI is going to one day probably get so smart that it'll whatever to us, right? But the reality is that if that is true, we're 20 years away, right? 20 years away from that kind of stuff. So let's live in the present. Let's work with what we have today. All right, so how does it do that? It doesn't matter, right? I find that a lot of people, they want to understand the levers. They want to understand, before they put anything in action, they want to fully understand it first. And that is the wrong way to do. You know that AI, you could ask it a question, it gives you an answer. That's all you need to know, right? And we'll get into a little bit more complicated stuff in just a second. So here's what we do know. It's not going to go anywhere, okay? It's not going to replace humans, at least in the foreseeable future. You got to live for today, okay? You got to live for today. It allows us to sift through data at lightning speeds, right, which is awesome. And that new AI tools are released every single day, and they're just going to get better, right? I actually don't think they're up to par right now. I've used a couple tools. I'll talk about them in the end. But it's still so not good, okay? It's confusing. It's hard to build. There's not enough out there, not enough information to properly use it, okay? And the conversation about this AI automation agency, AAA, whatever you want to call it, it needs to be had, all right? And so what we're going to cover today is we're going to debunk this notion on whether AI will kill the agency model, whether it's social media or lead gen. Okay, we're going to understand what the acronym ETAE means and why this is so important for you to get now. We'll cover that in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and how utilizing AI actually could just mean more services for your agency, right? Simple. Let's keep this simple. How utilizing AI could cut your own personal overhead in your agency, and the 5 main tools that you can use right now in your agency. And I was hesitant to do this, but whatever, I'll share the ones that I'm starting to use now. And the most important thing about today is we're going to start the conversation, okay? You don't need to be scared. You don't need to be frantic. The agency model's not going anywhere. SMMA, lead gen, nothing is going to change. So is SMMA LGA dead? And I would say for some, actually, yes, it could be, right? And even if it is, you're still 12 to 24 months away from what I believe is the only real big change in the SMMA LGA world. Okay, so let's talk about that. 18 to 24 months. So hear me out. We have to use something that everybody will understand. Okay, so let's look at Toys R Us. Everybody knows what happens to Toys R Us. My 11-year-old still talks about back in the day when I used to go around the corner of Toys R Us. He used to love it, right? And so let's find out why. Like, what the hell happened to Toys R Us? Because it's going to play a role in what I believe is the biggest change that AI will make in the agency world. But why? Was it because of Amazon? Because most people, that's what most people think. It's not. Okay? It was about the customer service and experience that people had when they walked into the store. That was the number one factor. Now, you can go look at their financials and say, yeah, but they borrowed too much money. They took on too much debt. Yes, yes, and yes. But why did they have to do that? Okay? So here's a quote from a guy by the name of Greg Portell. He was a partner in retail. If you're going to have the amount of inventory that Toys R Us had, you need someone in the store to help you find it, help you experience it, okay? It's hard to sell toys in a cold warehouse environment. And if you actually remember walking into a Toys R Us, it was that. It was a warehouse with big metal shelves and just toys everywhere. Nobody knew what toy they wanted. Nobody knew where to go. Nobody knew anything. Where was things? Where was it? Could I experience it? Could I touch it? Could I play with it? Right? The kids wanted to see it and touch it and play with it. And so that was one of the biggest problems. Even Toys R Us CEO David Brandon conceded in an SEC filing last fall that the company had fallen behind competitors on various fronts, including with regard to general upkeep and the condition of the stores. And so in the end, you have to remember the business that provides the best customer experience will always prevail. Okay? And so if you look at Amazon, who we all know who Amazon is, the reason why Amazon has been so successful, because it started with the customer experience. When you have good customer experience, you get more traffic. You have sellers, right? Now you have the affiliate program. When you have more sellers, you have a bigger selection, which increases the customer experience. And in addition, if you take a look over here of why it continues to grow, it's kind of, they call this the flywheel. When they have more sellers, more selection, better customer experience, more traffic, now they have a lower cost structure, lower prices, which increases the customer experience. Everybody just keeps coming back, right? Toys R Us, you walked into the store, it was ugly. You didn't know where anything was. You didn't know if they were going to have it. It was just a bad customer experience overall. So people said, you know what, forget it. I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to go to Amazon. And that's what I'm going to go to Target, right? I mean, I go to Target all the time. Like, I don't go online to order from Target. I go into the store. They have the Starbucks there, right? They have, the toys, the toy set, like all the sections. And not only that, you can go to toys. You can get a shirt. You can go get coffee. You can get groceries from the food section. Choices, all right? If you go back to here, selection. If you're only in the toy industry, right, you better make sure that somebody who walks into the toy store, number one, you should probably have a play area where kids can go play with the toys that you're selling, right? That's the number one thing. Maybe you should have Starbucks in a Toys R Us, should have been, right? Or somewhere to eat. Go look at Costco. Selection, prices, you can eat. You can ask somebody to show you where things are. They have all these different selections. And so the important point here is to understand this. AI won't replace humans. It will replace humans who don't use it and utilize it. I want you to read this again. AI won't replace humans, right? SMMA, LGA, whatever. It's going to replace humans who don't utilize it. And so you have to think of AI as kind of the booster pack that you could put on your back. It's the 747 compared to a propeller plane. Okay, that's what AI will do to your with your agency. So it's not going to be able to replace what I said in the beginning, ETAE, which is somebody's experience. So AI will never replace my experience in the agency world. It's never going to replace the fact that I crushed it for mortgage loan officers. It's not going to replace the fact that I crushed it for pain management doctors. It's not going to replace, all the niches that I worked in and the happy customers that I have. It's never going to replace that. It can't. It's not going to replace the trust that I have with the audience that I speak to every single day. It's not going to replace the trust that I have with my coaching students. It's not going to replace the trust that my clients have in my agency, okay? It's not. And I'll talk about why I put results here. Authority. It's not going to replace the authority I have when I speak to people about the agency, when I speak to people about making money, when I speak to people about real estate. It's not going to replace the expertise. So essentially, AI is not going to replace what's in between my ears. And on here, I have results. Because ultimately, if you ran a campaign let's say just a Google ad campaign for an HVAC client, and you got them results and they're happy, how could AI possibly replace that? It can't. It never will. Always remember this. If you run ads, how is AI going to click the buttons and run the ad? In the end, it's not going to be pushing the buttons. So my overall opinion, and what I believe is a fact, is that the SMMA LGA business won't change. What will change are the expectation of the client. So let's talk about that. Okay. So how can we utilize AI to create an amazing customer experience? That's what we need to do. We need to make sure our customers are extremely happy, and we can use AI to do it. But how? How do we make sure that our customers have an amazing experience? We could pull two levers that all businesses want and need. So let's pull them. Speed. You know, the worst thing that happens in the agency is when you land a client and you say, hey, listen, we're going to get going. You know, I need 7 days, and 14 days later, they haven't even heard from you, right? So we can pull the lever of speed, which means we can fulfill faster. And I'll show you in just a minute. Money. It's all about the money, baby. Reduce expenses or increase money, or do both. So we could utilize certain AI tools to increase the speed of fulfillment. We could help reduce a business's expenses right, increase their money. I mean, the increasing money should always be the number one factor, okay? So how do we do this? So I'm going to give a very simple, quick example of using ChatGPT for speed, okay? So let's do it. So let's say part of one of your clients, right, HVAC, right, you're going to help them get more leads and customers. One of the things is you're going to run a pay-per-click advertisement on Google, right? Simple, very simple, okay? So we can get that up in an hour, okay? Now, we're going to tell the customer, we're going to tell our HVAC client, listen, we need about 48 to 72 hours to get this going, whatever it is, okay? Now, I am going to under-promise and over-deliver always, which I always have, right? I'll tell them 72 hours, I'll tell them a week, and I'll get it up in a day or two, okay? And so I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, I own an HVAC business, and I want to send non-customers follow-up emails about why they haven't accepted my quote. So one of the things that I can do is I can say, hey, listen, for $1,000 a month, I will get you more leads and customers. We're going to throw a simple ad up on Google, and we're going to get you some leads. But in the meantime, how many customers, past customers, do you have that you sent quotes to but never accepted the quote? Now, you're going to probably ask in the comments down below, well, what if they don't have it? Well, then you don't offer it to them, right? Now, what you could do, and I'll show you in a second, is I'll show you this in a second. Let's just say that they do. And by the way, most of them probably do, but it's probably on paper. So you could work with them to get it into a CRM. So you say, I want the emails to explain how important furnace tune-ups are in the winter. Can you write me 5 different emails that I will send one a day for 5 days? And it just does it, right? And it's good, and you can edit it, right? We hope this email maximize comfort and efficiency this winter, right? That would be subject 1. Don't let winter catch you unprepared. The secret to a worry-free winter. Prepare your home for winter's chill. Blah, 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 right? So we talk about speed and simplicity. We're using AI to do it, right? So all we're doing is using AI to make us better, okay? We're not changing the entire business model. Now, let's take this a step further. And so now I'm going to say to ChatGPT, I just started running pay-per-click advertising on Google for HVAC company. And by the way, the prompts is extremely important for AI to really understand what it is that you want them to spit out. So I'm running, so specifics is important. I'm running advertising on Google for HVAC company, and the goal of the ad is to get people to opt in for a quote and call the phone number. Can you build out 7 emails, and you could insert text to this, to potential customers based on this information I'm about to paste below? Use this information to sell the potential customer and why the HVAC company is the best company to use, okay? And so I just pasted this information from their website, right? And if I was really doing this for a client, I would be pasting as much information from that client as humanly possible. And then it just says here, intro to reliability. And the cool thing, of course, with AI is the fact that it'll pull from the data set, okay? It'll pull facts from the data set. So your trusted choice for AC repairs in New Jersey. Are you tired of sweating through the summer heat? Look no further at Weltman Home Services. We've been providing so it's pulling data from the data that I pasted, so on and so forth. You can see 7 emails here, okay? And so it's using it's using what it knows based on the information and based on, the crawls that it did in 2001 and before on the whole HVAC niche. And so it's going to pull all that, right? It's gonna sell on my behalf. Now you do want to read it, and so you want to make sure that you're reading it, okay? And then you're gonna just copy this and paste it into CRM automations. I use GoHighLevel. Again, you can get a 30-day free trial down below, but I use GoHighLevel as my CRM for my agency coaching and everything else that I use. All right, and so again, facing AC troubles, our expert technicians are here to put your worries at ease. All right, so it's basically following up for you, okay? And so this is a service. This is part of the lead gen service. Like, you're not going to run ads and have no follow-ups. But the difference now is that you don't need to now say, hey, I landed an HVAC client, and you don't need to start Googling like good emails to write for the HVAC client, right? And so this allows you and gives you more value to your client to be fast, good, like an expert, okay? And so this is some stuff. And you could also use this to learn about a niche and all this other stuff, okay? So this would be, again, AI is making you better. It's not replacing the model. All right, so that's just a very simple example, and you can go ahead and do this for your clients. And of course, money, right? Building chatbots to maybe handling customer support would remove maybe a worker, okay? It's not gonna be able to do it fully, in my opinion. Again, if you really want customer support, a person, in my opinion, will always basically be a little bit better. And whether they're on the other side of the chat or not, I'm not looking to replace like my coaching support. I'm not looking to replace those people with a chat bot, essentially. I'm just looking to deliver the person with more information so they can handle the query faster, okay? So I don't want, like, for example, chat, okay? So somebody goes and says, hey, I'm looking for a certain video where James or Jason talk about the six circle close, because we get that a lot in our support. They can't find it in the training. And so most of the time they'll just say, on the chat support, hi, right? Anybody there type thing. And of course, we have some automation in there, but maybe with a more sophisticated chat bot, I can answer the question without a VA. Okay. And if they're still not happy, then they get sent to the VA. Okay. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And it also could mean more services, right? More services to add to your agency, not replace it. And I actually copied this because there's so many things here that I kind of don't agree with. I copied this from somebody who's pushing the AI automation agency down people's throats. And so maybe this just means not replacing it, just means more services for them. So again, customer support, sales support. I'm not relying on a chatbot to assist my customers. They've paid me money. I'm going to make sure a human being is talking to them. Okay. And that's me. Maybe it's not everybody, but at some point I believe that it will be realized that people just want to talk to somebody. Okay. There's no better support than a person. Now, obviously, if you want to get into calling your bank and all those things, maybe. But if you really think about it, now, when you call big businesses, Fortune 500 companies, they have press this to go to here, press this to go to here. It's almost annoying. I'd rather just somebody answer, right? I hate those automations. Prospect generation, again, this is going to be for you. Tailored marketing, probably for you. Gathering feedback, surveys. Again, you could do that for customers, maybe another service or maybe part of your package. Again, chatbots, I'm still up in the air about this chatbot thing. Do I think it could be powerful because it's kind of learning and gathering information? Yes, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Scrutinizing customer data, pinpoint trends. That's in hopes that your actual clients have the data, right? You're going to find that local businesses most of the time don't even have data. Reservations, staff onboarding and training. Again, to properly onboard somebody, like in our coaching program, we have a human being that does it. I'm not going to rely on some chat bot to teach them, where things are, how to get support. Like, it's not going to happen. And my coaching example, as far as the search query is, my envision of all of this for me in my coaching, not my agency, in my coaching, would be take all the the transcripts from all of the videos, training videos that we've done, put it in the information hub, like I talked about in the beginning. And then we have a chat bot that people can ask questions. which then looks up into the information hub and can say, if they ask, where did James talk about or Jason talk about the 6-circle close in the training? The chatbot could say it's week 4, module 5, minute 4 of that video, right? Here's the link to it. And so speed, it makes us more valuable as coaches to our student base. And that's kind of where I see how AI will make me and our coaching program better. It can make your agency better in terms of customers, right? And I was going to talk about 5 tools. So here's some tools that I use instantly for cold emailing, but that helps you as the agency. Dripify, LinkedIn prospecting helps you as the agency. BotPress, it could help you and a customer, client customer. It could be another service for them. Stack AI is kind of like a connection tool like Zapier, and of course, ChatGPT I just showed you. And so I want to bring this back full circle here and say the conclusion here. The AI automation agency, in my opinion, is a play on marketing words, because in the end, SMMA, lead generation agencies, comes down to one thing. And if you've learned nothing in this entire video, make sure you understand this, because this is the most important thing that I'm going to say today. Are you providing exactly what local businesses need? Which is more leads, more customers, more money. That's it. More leads, more customers, more money, which essentially will lead to more time for the business owner to enjoy life and family and friends and vacations. That's what more money gives you. It gives you your time back, okay? It allows you to hire. It allows you to invest. And everybody does that for one thing, time. Time is something you can't get back, okay? And so that is my conclusion on what I believe is going to happen with AI in the agency world. It's going to make you as the agency owner better. It may give you a few more services to sell, but it's not going to change the landscape of what we do as agency owners, which is get local businesses, more leads, more customers, and more money. And if you can't do that, all the other stuff you hear and learn and talk about will all go out the window, and you will fail as an agency owner unless you can get local businesses, more leads, more customers, more money. And that concludes my AI agency video. Comment down below, like, subscribe. If you're new to this channel, make sure you turn those notifications on. I try to get 1 to 2 videos out a week. Now that I'm back from my 3-week vacation overseas, I'm finally back in the groove and will be delivering more value to you, the audience. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next one. Peace.